Welcome to our Tuesday night practical stress management class. My name is Jennifer Whitehead, and today assisting me to give a nice demo for you guys is Jill. She's going to be demonstrating our floor sequence, and then we have Christina who's going to be doing our seated sequence today. Really excited to have you guys here. Today we're going to add some new fun techniques, and just remember that with all of these techniques, they're for you to take what fits for you. So maybe one part of it doesn't feel comfortable, that's okay. Take what does feel comfortable and what does feel right for you and utilize that. So anything you like, we just want to provide the best we can for you. So with that, we want to go ahead and kind of get ourselves started. And to get started, we need to know the equipment that we need to have, or what really tools we need. Really all you need is yourself and somewhere that you can sit and maybe have a little bit of space. As you can see, you can use a chair, and we have one chair and then also another chair in front of Christina with two blankets or two pillows and a blanket. We also have Jillian, who's going to have a little mat. You don't have to have a mat. You can, if you're at home, you can even put just a blanket down so that you have something to go over the floor, and also two pillows and a blanket. You really don't need much to practice stress management. Just really, again, yourself. But if you want a little bit more comfort, again, you can grab some pillows, grab a couple blankets, grab a chair, grab a mat. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's get started with just orienting ourselves within the room. So taking a moment and just feeling yourself in this space. Can you start to just feel your hips in the chair, maybe moving a little bit back and forth, just rocking from side to side and noticing what it feels like, what the hips feel like, the sensations that arise as you move gently side to side. Maybe begin and just gently press your feet into the floor and notice the sensations that arise here. We have so many proprioceptors within our feet, so maybe even just wiggling the toes and begin to feel what that feels like. Get a little curious with the body. Right? And being present with the body as you move a little bit. Maybe even just wiggle the shoulders forward, backwards, make some circles, and again, just kind of being a little curious with movement in the body and feeling yourself right here and right now. And then as you start to move a little bit, can you begin to look around the room and just notice the room? Notice the colors. Can you find one thing in your room that has a vibrant color that just attracts your attention, and then just notice that. Begin to explore, getting a little curious with being present with that experience of noticing the color. And then as you start to feel a little comfortable and safe kind of in the space you're present here more, allow yourself to find a little bit of stillness. And as we find stillness, we're going to check in. And we're going to do a fun little exploration of checking in with ourselves. We talk about stress all the time and how it affects our body, but sometimes we don't really understand with ourselves how that can really affect our body at so many levels. So today we're going to have a fun way to center and check in with paying attention to our pulse and our heartbeat and the flow of our breath at the same time, and noticing kind of where our thoughts are with that, and I'll guide all that through. With that being said, though, it's my honor to allow Jillian to tell us how to make sure properly we can begin to really feel that pulse.
So you're going to want to start by finding your radial pulse. So you're going to take your index finger and your third finger on your dominant hand, and you're going to place it in between the tendon and the bone of your wrist. You're going to use a little bit of pressure, but not too much. You don't want to mash down. And you're going to start to feel that pulsing right there. So just take a second. If you don't feel it, just move around in tiny little increments, and it's going to be right there in that little dip between your tendon and your bone.
So just take a few moments and see if you can find your pulse here. Again, just finding even just a slight pulse is fine. And once you find that, if you feel comfortable, go ahead and allow yourself to notice the feet for a minute, maybe pressing down if you're in a chair, or just noticing your feet underneath you if you're seated on the floor. Take a nice spine, a long spine, sitting up a nice neutral spine so that you can really find your postural muscles here. And if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes now. And as you close your eyes, just begin to observe for a moment that pulse. Begin to just feel that sensation against the fingers. And maybe you can even start to notice it throughout the body a little more. You can start to tune in and feel sensations within the body. And as you start to notice the rhythm of the pulse, can you start to find awareness now on the breath? Begin to observe how you're breathing for a moment without judging or analyzing, just simply finding an awareness. Noticing the cadence. Is the breathing erratic? Is it smooth? And as you observe the breath and the pulse, can you allow now the breath and the pulse to find a smooth rhythm together? Can you allow with each breath out, finding the breath to soothe a little more? Can you find the heart rate begins to soothe and settle? Maybe finding a little bit more gentle pulse. Without forcing or changing, just allowing the awareness to create this rhythm, this gentle flowing. You might start to notice the body begins to ease and settle. The shoulders might feel as if they're melting down a little. Get a little curious and just observe. Observe how the sensations and how the awareness of the breath and the pulse together can create some space within the body. Maybe you even notice the mind begins to settle a little as the awareness draws in. And you can release that observation with the opposite hand and just allow your hands to rest on your thighs. I'm just taking a little bit deeper check in there, noticing, do I feel different now than when I first started? Is there a deeper sense of calm and peace now than before? And then allowing your breath now to deepen. Taking a deep inhalation, and you can even sigh it out. And then maybe if you need, you can take another deep inhalation. And exhale, just sigh it out. And on your next exhale, allow the eyes to gently open. Coming back into the space you're in. Once again, looking around the room, maybe noticing a little bit of the color, the texture, just grounding and orienting yourself here and now. And from there, we're going to move a little bit closer, a little bit deeper into our practice. And so we're going to move into the body. So for our next section of our stress management techniques, we're going to move into the physical body. This is where we hold a lot of our tension. And sometimes just simple movements can really help alleviate some of the tension and the stress we feel. Today I'd like to focus on really just a push-pull or flexion and extension of the body. Right now we're sitting a lot, we're on our computers because we're doing a lot of virtual work. So allowing the spine to kind of move forward and backwards can really kind of open up some of that tension. So once again, Jillian's going to be doing the floor sequence, and then Christina's going to take the seated sequence. We're going to start with a little bit of a child's pose. So if you don't mind, Christina, taking the feet a little wide and resting your hands on the back of the chair in front of you. And Jillian, allow your toes to touch and the knees can come open, and then just extend the arms forward in front of you. And as you're here, really allow the hips, whether it's in a chair or you're in a laying down or on the floor, start to breathe into the hips here. Can you allow the tension or some of that tightness within the hips to settle? So you're inhaling and just exploring some of that tension. And as you exhale, just allowing the hips to settle a little more. And as the hips settle, can you extend through those arms a little bit more and really feel the chest open up? You can feel the length in the back here. The shoulders melt down away from the ears, and the breath begins to find stillness. Wonderful. And then from there, let's take a nice inhale. Slowly press yourself up into a tabletop position. So Julian, you're going to take your wrists underneath your shoulders, and your knees are going to come underneath the hips. So it's going to come down just like this. So wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. And then the feet are coming directly out of the knees. So this would be tabletop. And for tabletop seated, we're going to just take seated, hands on the thighs. The spine is nice and elevated, and the core is gently engaged. The chest is broadened. So we'll move through some movement here just to get the body moving, to get the breath flowing. So from tabletop, take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, press yourself back down to child's pose. Hips go to the heels, arms extend forward, the head relaxes down. On the next inhale, lift yourself back up into tabletop. Again, the belly is engaged here, hold. And then on an exhale, we'll press the hips back again, coming back into child's pose. Maybe each time you begin to feel yourself go a little bit deeper, you're opening up a little bit more. So let's take 2 more of those. Let's inhale, come to tabletop. And then exhale, send it back, child's pose. Good. And one more time, let's inhale up to tabletop. And then exhale, child's pose. Good, and breathe here just for a moment. And then as you feel ready, you're going to come back on that inhale into tabletop. And so from there, we'll move just a little bit more softer flexion extension of the spine. So on the floor sequence, in tabletop, we're going to go from cat-cow. So take an inhale, the belly comes down, the chest broadens, and you look up. If you're in the chair, you're pressing your hands into the thighs, the chest is broadening, and the sternum lifts up, so you create a little backward bend here. Good, and then on your exhale, press your hands into the floor of the thighs, take the chin to the chest, round your back, you're pulling the belly in. You should feel those muscles engage. It's a flexion of the abdominals. And once again, let's inhale, the chest lifts and broadens, eyes can look up a little, create your backward bend. Exhale, chin to the chest, round your back, pull the belly in, shoulders move out of the ears. Can you feel all the muscles in the back get a nice little stretch? Last one here, you'll take an inhale, once again coming into cow, the chest broadens. Really feel this expansion in the abdomen on the front. And exhale, chin to the chest, round your back, pulling the belly in for cat. Good. And let's come to a neutral spine here. So from here, we're going to move into an opposite arm, opposite leg. This helps to really start to build abdominal muscles and core strength. So if you're on the floor, you'll be in tabletop. You're going to take an inhale and extend your right leg out. So as you extend your right leg out, really point the toes and elongate through the leg. And if this feels stable and comfortable, you can extend the left arm out now so that your opposite arm, opposite leg is extended. Press firmly with your hand into the floor as well as the knee and the foot of the stabilizing leg. Now if you're in the chair, you're going to lift one arm up, left arm up, and the right leg will extend out. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Wonderful. So here's where we're going to start to move just a little bit here. So on an inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, take the elbow, the knee towards each other, pull the belly in. Again, inhale, let's extend it out. And exhale, elbow to knee. Let's take that 2 more times. Inhale, extend, and exhale, pull it in. Last one, inhale, extend, and exhale, pull it in. Good, and then take it back down, tabletop. If you need a break with your arms, you can go back into child's pose, and that's fine, taking a breath there. And then as you feel comfortable, we'll come back up for that other leg. So now on an inhale, your left leg is going to extend out, really elongate, point the toes. The abdomen is gently engaged as well as the pelvic floor. Now extend the right arm out. From here, if you feel comfortable, we're going to start to move. On an exhale, take elbow to knee and extend it out. Again, on an exhale, take elbow to knee. Strong in those arms and extend it out. Good, 2 more times. Take that elbow to knee and extend it out. Good, last one, elbow to knee and extend it out. Good, take it back down. Take your child's pose here. Hips to the heels, arms extend out, and the head relaxes down. Let your back start to settle. So we are doing a lot of back bends today. So you'll notice we'll go into child's pose quite often to really counter those back bends and allow the lower back to settle after that. So wonderful. Let's get a little bit deeper into that spine. So Christina, if you don't mind standing up and coming behind the chair for me. And Jillian, you're going to lay down now. We're going to be on the belly. So from here on the belly, hands underneath the shoulders, the tops of the feet press into the floor. Broaden your chest and just inhale, lift the sternum up. So whether you're on the floor or in the chair, lift the sternum and broaden your chest. Good, and then on an exhale, lower down and press back to child's pose. And then inhale, you're going to come forward and lower all the way back down to the floor, lifting into cobra pose. So chest up, shoulders broaden, the feet press into the mat. Good, and then on the out breath, once again, we're going to press back into child's pose. Good, take a breath here. And if you notice, Christina is taking a chair and she's kind of taking a standing downward facing dog. But either way, just really allowing the back to stretch. And on an inhale, once again, we're going to come forward onto the belly, or either way, broaden the chest, lifting the sternum. And then exhale, send it back, child's pose. So we're going to do 3 of those today, just because they can be pretty intense. And just taking a breath in child's pose here. Once again, that backward bend was a lot. You haven't done some of those in a while. Take a second here. Let your back settle. And from there, we're going to once again come forward onto the belly if you're on the floor. And if you're at the chair, you're just going to stand in front of the chair. What we're going to do is an opposite leg lift here. This is going to build the lower part of your back muscles, which is really important in your core. So your arms, if you're on the floor, are going to go beside you. From here, the chin can go out on the mat. On an inhale, lift your right leg up. Or extend it back if you're in the chair. And on an exhale, lower it down or bring it back. Good, and again, inhale, lift your right leg, extend it up. Exhale, lower. Wonderful, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, extend the right leg back. And exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, extend the right leg back. And exhale, lower. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to the left leg. So go ahead and shift the body weight if you're standing into the right leg, finding that balance. If you're on the floor, really press the arms and the shoulders down, engaging the spinal muscles. And then on an inhale, lift the left leg or extend the left leg back. As you exhale, the leg lowers down and returns. Good. Inhale, extend the left leg back. And exhale, it returns. 2 more times here. Inhale, extend the left leg back. And exhale, return. Wonderful. Last time, inhale, extend the left leg back or lift. And exhale, return the leg. Good. And then just take a second, kind of notice how that feels. And then from there, let's take a child's pose. And once again, let your lower back just settle for a moment. Let your forehead really relax onto the mat. if you're on the floor. If you're standing, let your head just hang a little bit. Really allow this tension here that we hold so much, especially on computers with our hands forward. Really just breathe into the space of the neck as well and let it start to settle and ease. Wonderful. So there, gently press yourself up. And we're going to go into a little bit of a standing exercise to strengthen our hip flexors, since they do get really weak from sitting all day long because they're constantly flexed. So we're just going to strengthen them a little bit with some of those movements. So if you don't mind joining me standing, and we're just going to do some standing, walking, knee to chest. So it'll look like this, and if balance is an issue, take your hands to your hips, and also you might want to wear shoes because they do give you a little bit more stability for that. But we're going to take the hands to the hips and just bring one knee up. It's almost like you're slowly marching forward. Just take a few here. And then if you feel comfortable, you can walk backwards the same way to kind of test your balance backwards. Or you could just turn around and then walk back the same way you came if maybe vision is something you need to find your balance. And just do that a few times. Walk forward and back. Bring the knee to the chest. Can you engage the abdomen? Keeping the spine nice and neutral. The chest broaden. And if you really want to challenge, you can even extend the arms out. And notice if that changes your balance. So take one more of those, ladies, if you don't mind. Should get a nice little heart rate increase here as we start to work the larger muscles of the body. Good. And you can shake that out. Just one more standing just to get ourselves a little loose, from again sitting all day long. We're going to step a little bit forward just so we have space. There's no chair behind us. Take your feet about hip width apart. And then, let's go a little smaller than that if you don't mind. Good. Take an inhale, reach your arms up, and you can even look up. Let your eyes get a little stretch, a little workout. Reach as much towards the ceiling as you can. And then on an exhale, sweep the arms out to the side. Keep a long spine and slowly forward fold. The hands can touch the floor, they can touch your shins, or they can touch the thighs. Just be mindful of the knees. Wherever you are, take an inhale and lengthen through the spine. On an exhale, bend your knees. Sit your hips low like you're sitting in a chair. Then inhale, reach your arms up. Good. Hold this for a second. Maybe even pulse a little bit. Start to feel your feet press into the floor. And then press yourself all the way to standing. Exhale, arms down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach up, look up. And then exhale, swan dive down. Again, hands can go floor, shin, or thighs. Let your body fold all the way down. Then inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, sit your hips low into the chair. Then inhale, reach arms up. Good. Press into the feet as you slowly come up. And exhale, arms down. Last one here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Again, look up. Find yourself a little taller. Exhale, sweep the arms out to the side. Fold your body all the way down. On an inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bend your knees, sit your hips low. And again, inhale, reach the arms up. Then press into the feet. Exhale, arms down. Again, just give yourself a little shake. And then as you feel comfortable, come back to your seat, again, whether it's on to the mat or whether you're on the chair. So as we find our seat, we're going to work just a little bit of our relaxation. So for this one, find yourself as comfortable as you can. You're going to either take some pillows and put them behind your head if you're on the mat, and you can even place one underneath the knees. If you're in a chair, I'd invite you to take a pillow behind the back and behind the head. My only really advice it would be if you're in a chair, make sure that you have a wall here. So if you start to get really relaxed, the head has somewhere that it can relax and rest on. So if you're in a chair, you can even scoot your hips a little forward and really get an angle so your head can release back. Now, if laying on the ground or on a mat is uncomfortable for you with the legs straight, you can take however many pillows you need underneath the legs, tuck it really underneath the hips, and then you can let the legs extend out. If that is still uncomfortable for the hips here or the back, you can bend your knees, take your feet a little wide, and then allow the knees to gently touch. So these are a few ways you can find a little bit more of a comfortable position for yourself for relaxation. So we will be here for a while, so again, make any adjustments that you need to find yourself even more comfortable. And as you find yourself comfortable for you, I invite you to allow the eyes to soften. And whether you allow the eyes to soften to close or just allow your gaze to close, just give your eyes permission to settle. Allow the tension behind the eyes to begin to release. And as the eyes begin to soften and settle, allow yourself to take a deep inhalation. Just feel the body with air, feel the expansion, and then full exhalation out. Sigh it out, let it go. And then again, take an inhalation and exhalation, let it go. If the body is still feeling a little tense right now, that's okay. I invite you now then to take an inhalation and squeeze every muscle in your body. The facial muscles squeeze, the bum, the hands, the feet. And you can exhale, release that. And again, take that inhale, squeeze, tense every muscle, make fists, and exhale, release. And then notice what that feels like. Notice the difference when you tense to when you allow and release. Allowing the body now to settle. And as the body settles, bring your awareness to the physical body. Begin to observe the legs. Notice the feet. Can you notice any sensations that might arise? Can you allow the feet to find a little more ease? As the feet begin to settle, allow the awareness to move into the lower legs and the knees. Can you allow, as the awareness sets in, can you find a little bit more release in the lower legs? And moving the awareness into the upper legs and the hips. Can you allow those upper legs and hips to relax? Can you feel as if they settle into the surface beneath them a little deeper? Feeling all of those tiny areas of tension begin to let go. And allowing that awareness to move into the abdomen and the lower back. And allowing the release of any stress, of any tension. And again, feeling the body settle even more into the surface beneath it. Moving the awareness into the chest and the middle back. Allowing again a deeper sense of letting go. Allowing all of those smaller areas of tension begin to settle. Finding this sense of spaciousness. And then allowing the awareness to move into the shoulders and down into the arms all the way to the fingers. As the awareness begins to broaden, you feel that sense of relaxation, that sense of ease to begin to spread all the way down to the fingertips. You can feel the chest broaden and open. You might even notice and get curious that the sense of just breathing becomes softer. Allow now the awareness to move into the neck and the jaw. Allow yourself to observe any tension, any sense of holding, and allow a sense of ease and letting go. You might even feel the jaw relax and the tongue begin to settle down. Allowing the awareness to move now into the face. Maybe you can feel the relaxation within the ears. Notice how the ears begin to soften and the sound begins to be subtle. Allowing the awareness now, even into the eyes and the nose, feeling the smallest of muscles release the tension, the need to control or hold. Feeling that sensation of awareness and relaxation move into the forehead. Feeling as if every muscle within the face melts and a deeper sense of relaxation and release flows in. And now allow yourself to feel the whole body. Feel the whole body begin to settle. As the awareness moves deeper, you feel that sense of relaxation. And as the whole body begins to settle, allow the awareness now to move deeper within. Begin to follow the breath from the moment it begins to the moment it ends. Feeling as if you're breathing from navel to nose and nose to navel. Following this breath. And maybe as you follow this breath, you begin to notice even more how the body begins to settle. Maybe you can even tap into that sensation of the heart and the breath flowing as one. You begin to feel the breath as if the entire body is breathing, that every cell is taking on life and healing. And as the body begins to breathe and release those subtle areas of tension, feel the body's heaviness as if it's sinking into the surface beneath you, as this sense of surrender begins to flow. As if each breath you take in, you feel that life, and each breath out, you're releasing, you're shedding the heaviness, the tension. And as you begin to shed this heaviness, feel that sense of lightness of the body, as even the smallest areas within the body settle. They release the need to control and to hold, allowing the body, the breath, the space and the freedom. Feeling that spaciousness, that openness. And as you find your breath and the body sink into a deeper sense of ease, can you allow the awareness to move a little deeper within? Can you focus within the heart and the mind and start to just witness the thoughts and the emotions that arise? Can you allow yourself to be the witness? Can you step back from those thoughts and those emotions and be the witness to your own experience? And I'll allow some time now for you to watch and witness this. And as you see that they flow just like the waves of the ocean and the breath, they're ever flowing in and out. Allow that freedom. And as the mind settles, the thoughts drift, the emotions begin to settle, find that deeper place within that begins to open. As we settle and be still, you find this place within that is who you are. It is your nature of love and peace. Begin to find yourself a little curious and resting in this place as it begins to open up a little more. Now, as you find yourself even more still within, I invite you now to bring your awareness into the heart space. Begin to once again explore that beating of the heart. Maybe you feel it. Maybe you sense it. And allow the breath as if you're breathing into the heart space. Every breath in and out allows the heart to open a little more, to expand. As the heart expands, you can start to now, in your mind's eye, begin to visualize that first moment your heart had its first beat within the womb. Can you begin to feel and sense the very beginning, feeling your heart at its strongest, at its purest form, allowing the body to remember that sense, that new beginning, that open-heartedness. And as you explore that moment that the heart first began to beat, allow that sense of wholeness to begin to spread throughout the body until you feel that every cell in the body feels that first moment, that sense of new life, of new creation, of health and wholeness. And again, if maybe even feeling that sense as every heart beats, it's sending that fresh oxygenated blood, it's pulsating healing until every cell in the body feels that sensation of that fresh life the moment it began. And allowing now with that beginning, that sense of unconditional love, to embody the entire body. Maybe you even can see that sense, that color of pink begin to encompass the entire body, feeling the sensation of being comforted with love, with health, with wholeness. And as the body begins to emanate this beautiful pink light of love, you feel every cell in the body respond with that same love, creating a deeper sense of healing within ourselves, within our heart, and within our mind. And allowing now that visualization to fade away. And once again, just sit within the body, within the heart, and begin to witness once again what comes up for you. Begin to be curious once again, and allowing the breath to deepen. And as the breath deepens, remembering that you can come back to this place anytime you like. This is within you. This is who you are. And as the breath deepens a little more, I invite you to take small movements. You can wiggle fingers or toes, allowing you to start to come back into the space, into this moment. And as you feel ready, and only as you feel ready, if you're lying on the floor, rolling to one side, and allowing the body to settle and find balance. Rest as long as you like. And then as you feel yourself steady, gently press yourself up and join me in a seated position if you're lying down. The eyes can remain closed just for a moment. And then as you start to come back, on an exhale, softly allow the eyes to open, just softly. Maintaining this state of internal and external awareness. So that last technique was what we call progressive relaxation. And it's a wonderful technique to really help get deep into the body and the stress we hold. But now this next technique we're going to talk about and we're going to practice is a breathing technique. It's called hummingbird breath. So sometimes we don't have a lot of time for our relaxation and we don't really have space. But these breathing techniques you can utilize almost anywhere you are, and you don't really need any equipment, you just need to breathe. So hummingbird breath is a wonderful breath. Even kids love it. It's really fun, and it sounds just like it is. It sounds like a hummingbird. And so this breath, you take an inhale, and then you'll gently hum out. And the purpose of this hum is that it stimulates the vagus nerve, and it allows your body to very quickly settle from a stress response to a relaxation response. So I invite you now to join me for this one if it feels comfortable. And you'll be seated. You want a nice neutral spine. And I'll demo it for a second so that you can kind of know what it sounds like and what it might feel like. So you'll take a breath in, and as you fill your lungs, you'll close the mouth, and the tongue is pressed gently against the back of the top teeth, and you'll begin to create a humming sound. And you want to feel that vibration through the neck, through the mind, so that it can really start to soothe the nervous system. And we'll do about 10 counts of this breath. That's about one round, and you can do more than one, but 10 is usually what we do in a practice of breathing. So if you don't mind, I invite you now to sit up nice and tall. Hands can rest on the thighs. And we'll take just a gentle inhale and exhale. And then once again, we'll take a nice full inhale, feel the expansion, allow the mouth to close, and gently begin to hum. And then full inhale again, and gently hum. And inhale, and gently exhale, hum. And continue this breathing a few more times. And really allow it to lengthen on its own. So can you lengthen that exhalation a little bit longer than the inhalation? So once again, feeling that inhalation, that deep expansion, and then gently hum it out. And as you do, start to notice what arises, what sensations you feel as you move through this breathing practice. You might notice the tension settle, the shoulders relax more. And then as you finish your 10, allow now the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Allow the eyes to soften and begin to just observe how you feel in this moment now. Allow yourself to just get curious with the sensations, the thoughts that arise. And then letting that go. And as you feel ready on an exhale, allow the eyes to gently open. And once again, come back into the space you're in. Begin to notice the colors in the room. Again, yourself in this present moment. I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight for our Lifestyle Medicine Stress Management class. It's always a pleasure to be able to bring new and fresh ways to be able to really help in this lifestyle change. And again, all of these techniques can be broken down. You can use them individually or collectively as a whole. Remember, use what's right for you and leave the rest behind, right? So thank you once again so much. We'll close our class out by reaching the arms over the head, palms touch. Take the thumbs to the forehead. May you always know love. The thumbs towards the lips. May you always speak with love. And the thumbs to our hearts. May you always give love. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us.